I'd like to direct your attention to the August 20th, 2014 entry, which starts on the next page. And then if you go to the next page as well, you can see that there's another entry for August 20th, 2014. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, yep.
Okay. On this page here, I'd like to direct your attention to the portion that starts with 12:30. Do you see that?
Yes.
Now it says here RN and MD spent time talking with patient. Do you see that?
I do.
This would have been you and Dr. Kipper, correct?
Correct.
And does this reflect that you spoke with Mr. Depp in person?
I don't recall. I would, yes.
Okay. And the note goes on to say, patient expressed frustration with the detox process and with not liking how the phenobarb was making him feel. Initially, he stated he was done with the process and no longer wanted MD and RN services. After processing his feelings and realizing how far he had come, and that part of his wanting to give up was due to tensions between him and his fiance. Patient, fiance, RN, and MD came up with a plan for fiance to take a few days for herself, and patient was willing to continue treatment, but was going to refuse phenobarbital from this point forward. Do you see that?
I do.
Okay, did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Do you recall tensions between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard at this stage in his detox process?
Yes.
And what do you recall about that?
I recall Johnny feeling that she was trying to interfere.
In what way did he feel she was trying to interfere?
By reporting to us things that he didn't feel were true.
Can you think of a specific instance where Ms. Heard reported something to you that you found out later was not true?
I cannot remember specifics.
Do you recall the plan for Ms. Heard to take a few days for herself?
I don't recall specifics.
But you do recall there being tension between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard around this time?
Yes.
And do you recall that having an impact on Mr. Depp's treatment?
I don't recall specifics.
Let's go on to the entry for August 25th, please. First of all, is this a note that you've prepared?
It is.
Directing your attention to the portion that starts with 1900. First line says, meeting at MD's house was quite stressful for patient. Do you see that?
I do.
Do you recall attending a meeting with Mr. Depp at Dr. Kipper's house?
I don't recall.
The next line says, him and his fiance are having a hard time communicating and understanding each other's point of view and feelings. Do you see that?
I do.
Do you recall any specifics about this situation?
I do not.
A couple sentences down, it says, plan is for fiance to start therapy tomorrow. Do you see that?
Yes.
Do you recall that Ms. Heard started therapy shortly after Mr. Depp's detox process?
I don't recall.
Do you have any understanding as to why Miss Heard was starting therapy?
I do not.
Directing your attention to the entry for August 27th, 2014, which starts on Dep 1687, or 86, excuse me. 1686, yep. Again, this is an entry you prepared.
It is.
Okay. Do you see where it says, received text from patient's sister that patient had been recording music with his friend until 5 and did not go to sleep until 7 and is currently sleeping?
Yes.
And who is Mr. Depp's sister that's referred to here?
Christy.
And at this time, have you met Christy before?
I don't recall.
Have you met Christy before?
Yes.
How many times?
I don't know.
More than once?
More than once, yes.
At this time, have you communicated with Christy about Mr. Depp's treatment before?
I don't recall.
Okay, the entry goes on to say, sister stated that patient and his fiance had had a disagreement last night and that patient was able to remain calm and handle the situation appropriately. Do you see that?
You?
Do you recall Christy telling you that?
I do not.
See the portion of the note that starts with 1330.
I do.
The second line reads, patient expressing feeling about argument with fiance and feels relationship is putting unwanted stress on him right now. Do you see that?
I do.
Do you recall this exchange with Mr. Depp? Sorry, I didn't catch that, Lloyd.
I'm sorry, I do not.
Okay. Based on this note, can you tell whether this was a conversation you had in person with Mr. Depp?
Based on this note, yes.
Do you recall on other occasions Mr. Depp expressing to you that his relationship was putting unwanted stress on him?
I'd have to review my notes.